Hi everyone, welcome to day 13 of Spark Learning. So today we are going to talk about delta tables. So what is delta tables? Delta tables are the same set of file format which is derived from Parquet, but it allows asset properties and allow you to do like versioning, insert, update, delete operations. So that the statements say it enables asset transactions, scalable metadata handling, time travel, all these things. So it allows the consistency and reliability, right? The one major challenge which we ran into when we convert into this one lake or data lake concept, right? The challenge which we had was we it is very difficult for us to do a row by row operations, right? Like our normal data warehousing had that flexibility to do this very easily. So like since we already have built this file structure, so we have recently implemented something called delta tables. So it is a layer which is built on top of our normal storage structure. So until we yesterday we were talking about Parquet file, you have seen how the Parquet files are stored and how that is partitioned. When you are partitioning, you are creating small files, right? So what is done here by implementing the delta tables are like they are same Parquet file format. Okay, that is the first thing which you need to understand. So we have used the same Parquet file format. I'll show you that in a bit. Parquet file format and implement a logging mechanism on top of that to create like implement this, because the challenge is like you wanted to do row by row operation, you wanted to like have this like versioning, like you wanted to roll back to the previous stage and things like that, right? In order to accomplish that, we have a log table. So still the storage mechanism remains same as Parquet. On today's session, we are going to talk about like going to understand that what is data table, how to create a delta table, and converting an existing Parquet file into delta, and also like reading the delta table. So we are also going to like I'll definitely show you where these delta tables are stored, how this is different from Parquet and all these things. So let us dive into the Databricks. Yeah, so I am in our Databricks day 13 notebook. I have my cluster already running. Um, I just mentioned the definitions and key features of delta table include acid properties, schema evaluation, time travel, optimized transformation, and caching indexes. So I'm not going deep into that. These are generic statement, but when we go learn, right, next couple of classes we are only going to talk about delta tables. Delta tables are key if you are thinking that you are going to use your storage mechanism more like an insert update operation which you are going to do, and you are also going to do with a live streaming kind of things. Delta Lake is your the best solution as of today or right now. So we are going to learn that more into detail. First I just wanted to uh, like make you understand that it is a Parquet file. So delta tables are nothing but Parquet file which is having a logging. So what we can do is like I have a sample data set, Alice, Bob, Charles. So we are creating the data frame. So if you see this code, you already know this. So you are creating a data frame, and I'm saying okay, this is my delta table path. So and in that I'm going to write. So this is your command, right? So this is a data frame dot write format delta. So if you remember how you would create a Parquet file, you will use the same. You will change here as Parquet. It will create a Parquet file. You know that, right? So I'm going to run this statement, and what's going to happen? I created a delta table successfully, right? So now what we need to do here, we need to understand how this is different and why I have said, okay, delta tables are nothing but Parquet file. I have my DSA folder which I have created, and I have delta, sorry. So if you see this names here, I have created my delta path as people. So this people delta is my delta table, right? So same like what we have seen, right? You can see multiple parts of the files created. So if you click here, click to copy path. If you go all the way on the right, you can see it is .parquet file, right? This is what I said. These are Parquet files. So you already have Parquet file. You have been already storing Parquet file. So what is this delta table? All this funda, right? You can see something called delta log here, right? So this delta log folder is going to make a difference when you are comparing with a Parquet file. If it would have been a Parquet file, you wouldn't have had this delta log and this optimizer and all these files, right? There's a JSON. We'll understand this in detail, but on a very high level for your understanding, keep this in mind. When you are going to create a delta table, these files, you will have two types of files. One is your data files and your delta log, right? So this part 2 3, all these things are your files, and you have this log information that help you to track all your information, like if somebody insert update. So if you are somebody who is like good in SQL and knows the internals of SQL, so how SQL was working, SQL usually have two types of file. That is, one is log, LDF and MDF we call it. MDF will have data, LDF will have log. So what happens when somebody try to insert, first it will write into log, and once when there is a commit happens, it is going to write that into MDF. So that is how it works, right? So that is the same concept they have tried to implement here. We need to retain all the file system as it is. We don't want to break that structure, but we also need to implement this transactions feasibility in the line by line operation. So we think about like you are manually making a changes on a text file, right? So that complexity of loss of data, all these things is what delta table is addressing and solving. Okay, so hope this video or this area of this folder structure and everything gave you an idea about what is delta table and how the data are stored, and why I said like it is stored in Parquet. So now created our delta table. Now I'm going to run this read command, save, which format I mentioned, delta from delta table path, right? The same path what we have. And you will see this as a result, like I have ID, name, age column, and you have these three columns, right? So that is pretty much straightforward on read. So I'll add a bonus point here, and we'll conclude today's video. So we have a Parquet file, and Parquet file are not delta tables, right? So if you wanted to create this delta files from a Parquet format, we can follow the below command, right? So I have this temp partition data, which if you have watched earlier video, this is like this Parquet file have been created when we were like learning about partitioning and unpartitioning part, right? So so in DSA, I'm planning to, like, I have this Parquet file. I'm going to create the delta file. Okay, so so here, creating sample is not necessary, because here what is it is there, like I have created a file like this and I ran it. So we can create our recreate our partition file and do it, or we can we already have the data there, so I'm not going to create the sample file. So I did it once. So see this command, right? Just not so converting a Parquet file to delta. So spark.read.format Parquet. So you are reading here and you are writing that format to delta. So what is my delta? DSA. Where is my path? Yeah, DSA is my delta file. So I'm going to run this and will show you how this both files folders look like, right? So this gives you the clarity. Previously I said like, okay, logging would come. So what was my source? My source is temp partition data. I'm going to come on, temp partition data, right? So this is my data, correct? City 1, city, so this partition, and this is how my data is looking like. So let us go to our correct, right? My path is correct, yeah, delta partition data. So now I'm going to, where am I going to? I'm going to, come on, sorry, yeah. So I'm going to my, what is this, DSA delta. I have my partition data. So this is my delta. Okay, delta log is there, and I have this part. So it considered the entire set as it did not take all the partitions and everything there. That is what we are seeing here. So okay, sorry, why did I take that? Yeah, DSA partition people data, which people data we already created. Partition data is something it is. So if you think that it was already created and there's a confusion, let us do this. Partition data underscore 1, right? Let us run this. So I just wanted to make sure that like it is not, is it capturing all these partitions there, or it is just creating that as it is, right? Yeah, it is not depend upon the partitions and everything you have seen there. There were so many partitions which was created on a category that is not captured here. You can see this partition temp partition data. So we'll verify that once again. So that like temp partition data had all these partitions, but that is not being considered, right? So we pull this data. Okay, so that is pretty much all I just wanted to cover here today, because I don't want you to overwhelm with all these commands, all these things which you are talking about, asset properties, rollback, versioning, and all these things, right? That is what we are going to learn in upcoming days. Today I'm concluding with just to summarizing. A delta table is a table stored in delta like format, built on top of Apache Parquet, right? That enable asset transaction schema. So just don't make it complicated. Keep this in mind. Delta table is a tabular format which is like behind the scenes storing the same Parquet file that allow you to do your normal data warehouse, like whatever activities which you do, it help you to do. It is also efficient in streaming and batch processing, and we have some optimization, like when in database you had indexes and everything, right? So we have like some optimizations technique like Sedora and all these things which we are going to learn in upcoming classes. So hope this video is clear about giving you a kickstart to learn what is delta tables, and upcoming days we are going to deep dive into an understanding what is the storage and how this is performing better, and how it is going to accomplish this asset properties and everything. Yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video.